Yeah. So today's panelists are Asmita Ghosh, who is placed at Hull, Anita James, who is placed at PNG, and R. Raghav, who is placed at ITC. Welcome to all the panelists. I would request all the panelists to please turn on the camera. It would be very good. Nice. Thank you. Okay. Without further delay, let's start with the first question.
So the first question is about the skills and experiences we need to apply for this profile. So what according to you all are the required skills and experiences? So I want like Anita, would you start with that?
Um, right. So for the supply chain profile, or basically for the FMCG profile, I don't think there are any specific key skills or key experience that they look for. I think they particularly look for an all-round personality. So they're not very picky on CG like some of the software companies. I think an about 8 or an about 8.5 is sufficient to get shortlisted. I think it would be good to have like strong extracurriculars, not like strong, but in the sense like a bunch of extracurriculars on your resume, as well as some like PORs and some interns. So an overall personality is what they look for, in my opinion.
Okay, Anita. So anything else anyone wants to add? Raghav, do you want to add anything?
Hello. I think what she said is is the correct thing. No specific skills or experiences are needed. Just I guess your CV should be well rounded. Uh, that's what I think should be necessary.
Okay. So Ashmita, anything you want to wind up with? Ashmita, you are not audible.
Hello.
Uh, yes, yes.
So it was like covered pretty well.
Uh, Swarnav, is this problem just from my side or I'm not able to hear the panel?
Yeah, I guess there's some problem with the internet from us.
Okay, Ashmita, can you just speak a bit clearly? I think there is some background noise, so we are not able to hear you.
Just a minute. I think I have some connection issue.
No,
Okay,
now it is clear. You can
it's
speak.
clear.
I guess.
Yeah, now is it fine?
Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
So, yeah, what Anita said was very correct that they don't look for previous skills or any specific set of skills. You just need to prepare your CV well. That's it.
Okay,
Okay.
so let's
So
move on to the next question.
yeah. So the next question is how to prepare for this profile and what are the resources needed? So Raghav, would you like to start with this question?
Yeah, sure. So I guess for interview preparation, you should be thorough with some common HR questions introduce yourselves and what are your long-term goals and what are your strengths and weaknesses. The common HR questions, you should be thorough with them because these could be expected. And resources, I would say you can look up on Google. There, like you would get a question bank of HR questions. You can go through it and nothing more to prepare for, I guess. And you should be confident in speaking. That's what I think, because the only thing which they look in the interview is your CV and how well you answer. So I think these are the points.
Okay. Asmita, would you like to add anything to this?
For HUL specifically, they ask a lot of
I guess Asmita, you're microphone is having some issues. Yeah.
Okay, so for HUL specifically, they ask a lot of technical questions. So your like core subject knowledge should be very strong. Like they really ask derivations and background knowledge in those subjects. So prepare well for the technical part as well, apart from the HR general HR question.
Okay. Anita, would you like to add anything to these tips?
Right. So I think like in connection to the previous question, like we had mentioned that, a supply chain is something which you can't really, to be honest, really prepare for. But the one thing is definitely there, that your resume and your personality questionnaire or the personality test that you take has to be done very well. So in terms of, I think and this is particularly very important because a lot of people during that last peak CDC time, not a lot of people actually focus on, like, ensuring that their resume is like super perfect, or they don't spend and take that extra half an hour and do that personality questionnaire very properly. But I think for supply chain, especially for the FMCG profile, you should take that time out and really ensure that your personality questionnaire is done very properly and your resume is done very 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 properly, because that's what makes the difference, that's what gets you shortlisted. For almost all the companies, it was a personality element and the resume that got them shortlisted. So that is something that you need to pay a lot of attention to. Regarding with respect to PNG, there's no specific resource really that you can use for either the test or for the interview, because both the test is something which you can't really prepare for. I think we'll probably explain that in the selection procedure part of the session. But one thing is definitely there, that if you read through the values of the company, like for all FMCG companies, if you read through the values of the company, like what are the peak values they associate with and what is the culture of the company, then I think you'll be able to answer your questionnaire and you'll be able to give your personality test in a much better way. That would probably help you, in my opinion. And aside from that, maybe being a little knowledgeable about supply chain terminology may also help in your interview in general.
Okay. I guess that was a lot from this question. Let's move on to the next question.
Okay, so the next question is about the technical knowledge we need for to get an internship in this profile. Like anything regarding coding, like is it necessary to have coding skills to crack internships in this profile? So Raghav, would you like to start on that?
Yeah, sure. So coding is not required for these profiles, but technical knowledge, I would say, if you are if you have some knowledge of supply chain, I guess that could help. As my department itself has that subject, I guess it helped me. And otherwise, I don't think any special technical knowledge is required. That's all from my side.
Okay, so Anita, would you like to add something?
Right. So I agree with Raghav on this. Even in PNG, there was no technical knowledge which was asked. In fact, I think for the other FMCGs, I think there might be still some more technical questions asked with respect to supply chain. But I think in case of PNG, there was no coding asked. There was no sort of theoretical or any sort of question related to engineering which was asked. It was completely based on your experiences, what impact you created. So I think PNG goes the other extreme where they don't ask any sort of technical questions.
Okay, so Ashmita, would you like to add something to what this is?
Yeah, like coding is not mandatory, but it's a plus. You know, if you know coding, then you can like do well in your internships as well. And regarding technical knowledge for HUL, it is very necessary, very important because they ask from like from your core subjects only. Like I'm from chemical engineering, so I was asked from fluid mechanics, thermodynamics, heat transfer. So those not like those should be, you know, like you have a You need to have a very good grip on those subjects. Otherwise, they don't ask anything about supply chain. They don't even expect you to know anything about supply chain and all this.
Okay, so that is a very nice wrap up. So let's move on to the next question.
Yeah. So the next question is, what is the general selection procedure for companies of this profile? So, Anita, would you like to start with this question?
Right. So for PNG, there is first a test that they make you conduct, that they make you take. So the test has two sections. One is a personality section, and the other one is an aptitude section. So in the personality section, there are around 60 questions maybe where they grill you on different situations and they ask you how you're going to proceed in those specific situations. And the reason why they ask so many questions is because they're looking for consistency. Because a lot of times people lie in personality sections. So they ask a lot of questions. So the key in this particular section is to be consistent with your answers, to be honest with your answers. And what they basically do is that they'll choose people who gel with the culture of the company. So based on the answers that you select, if your answers match with the values that they believe in, then you're most likely going to crack the personality element part. The second section of this particular test is the aptitude test. So the aptitude test of PNG is also unlike normal aptitude tests which you can prepare for. Like it's not like the CAT aptitude test, where you can do like, you can follow, I think, different authors' books and crack it. It's a gamified assessment. So there are three sections to that again. There is a digit assessment. There is another logical reasoning assessment, and there's a memory assessment. So here, this is a time part of the test where your presence of mind is crucial. It's an easy section, but your presence of mind is crucial, and you should pay attention to what's going on. And once you crack this particular, like, and after you finish the test, if you're above a particular absolute threshold, then they will screen your resume. So for people who do not pass the test, PNG automatically sends rejection mails. They don't even screen the resume. So then after that, there is a resume screening, and then there's a shortlist which is announced, and then there are like normal rounds of interviews on day one, just like other companies.
Asmita, would you like to add your experience to this?
Yeah, like for SQL, you have a case study. First, there is a resume screening, obviously. Then after that, there is a case study round where you are given three cases, and you need to apply logic and basic general knowledge to give answers to them. And then after that, you have the PI. Like previously, there used to be a GD, but this year they did not conduct the GD.
Yeah. So, Raga, would you like to add your experience to this?
Yeah, so for ITC, there's a resume shortlisting, and they used to have a GD, but as it was online, so instead what they did was they gave a topic and they gave us 1.5 minutes to think about it and 1.5 minutes to speak on that topic. And this was kind of a like there were a group of people and one would be speaking, and at that time you would be thinking about your topic. And once you clear this, there's the interview, the day one interview, and there are two rounds, and both the rounds are like almost similar, like both us the same HR questions and questions about your CV, and I guess that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So now I guess we have understood the general procedure in brief for all the different companies. So now let's move on to the next question.
So the next question is about having an intern being done before CDC. So how important is that according to you all? So I would like to, Ashmita, would you like to start on that?
Yeah,